This story was written by Shohinctor. My family doesn't age like other people. My grandmother was 98 when she passed, but she looks 65, maybe younger. My great-uncle is 102 and still chops his own firewood. We've always credited it to good genes and our one sacred tradition, the renewal stew, served at every major family gathering. It was a rich, dark, savory stew that made you feel warm from the inside out, full of life. When Grandma Rose died, I was the one who inherited the old family farmhouse, and tucked away in her study, I finally found it. The original, handwritten recipe book, bound in cracked leather. I felt a thrill, like I was finally being let in on the secret. I opened it to the page for the renewal stew. It was mostly blank. There were no ingredients listed for the stew itself, only 2 cryptic notes in my great-great-grandmother's spidery script. For the broth, see the cellar instructions. For the seasoning, see the attic instructions. The cellar was damp and smelled of earth. Behind a stack of old canning jars, I found a loose stone in the wall. Pulling it free revealed a dark, hidden chamber. Inside, arranged in neat rows, were a dozen large, unglazed clay pots filled with a dark, peaty soil. A thick, pale, gnarled root snaked out of the soil in each pot, looking disturbingly like a human hand. A dusty journal sat on a small table. The entries, dating back to the 1800s, described the process. When a member of our family dies, they aren't buried or cremated. They're planted. Their bodies are prepared with a special mixture of herbs and laid to rest in these pots. Over the years, the soil and the body produce a life root. This root is harvested, boiled for 3 days, and becomes the broth for the renewal stew. I felt a wave of nausea. We weren't just eating stew. We were consuming the concentrated essence of our dead ancestors. Shaking, I went to the attic. In a locked trunk, I found a collection of small, ornate silver boxes, each engraved with the name of a living family member. I found my own, my name freshly engraved. Inside each box was a small, sharp obsidian knife. Another journal explained the final step. The seasoning. It wasn't a spice. At each gathering, every family member present must make a living contribution to the stew. A few drops of blood, a sliver of fingernail, a tear cried directly into the pot. This offering of the living is what awakens the ancestral broth. I slammed the book shut, my hands trembling. It was a grotesque, cannibalistic ritual, and I vowed I would never participate. The next major gathering was for the autumn equinox. I made an excuse not to go, claiming I had the flu. I felt a sense of righteous defiance. But a week later, my mother called, her voice thin and weak. "Your Aunt Carol isn't doing well," she said. "She's had a sudden decline." I drove to my aunt's house. The woman who opened the door was a stranger. She looked 80 years old, her skin thin and translucent like parchment. her hair patchy and white. But it was Aunt Carol. She was only 58. She looked at me, her eyes wide with a desperate, hungry light. "You didn't come," she rasped, her hand gripping my arm with surprising strength. Her fingernails were cracked and yellow. "The stew. It wasn't strong enough. It's always weaker when someone is missing." I finally understood. We don't have good genes. We have a curse. A rapid, horrifying decay that is constantly trying to claim us. The stew isn't a fountain of youth. It's the only thing that holds the rot at bay. We aren't living long lives. We're desperately, grotesquely staving off an accelerated death. The winter solstice is next month. My mother called again yesterday. She told me my great-uncle's hands are so stiff he can no longer hold an axe. She told me she found a new gray hair, and when she plucked it, a small patch of skin came with it. Then she asked if I would be coming home for the solstice. Her voice was casual, but the question hung in the air, heavy and raw. They need me. They need my contribution. I'm looking at the small silver box with my name on it. The little black knife sits inside, cold and sharp. I have a choice. I can go, participate in this stomach-churning ritual, and feed the curse to keep my family looking young and vibrant, while I know the horrifying truth. Or I can stay here, clean and pure, and watch them all fall apart, knowing that the same rot is flowing through my own veins, waiting for its turn. This story was written by Rezbir Creepypasta. They say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. But I don't love what I do. Not exactly. But I was born for it. And I'm very, very good at it. It's not a 9 to 5. There's no clocking in, no coffee breaks, no PTO. You don't apply for this kind of job. It finds you. And the first thing they tell you, the very first thing, is never tell anyone what you do. Not your spouse, not your family, not your priest, not even yourself if you can help it. But lately, it's been getting harder to ignore. The weight of it, the screams of it. So here I am, telling you. I guess the easiest way to explain it is this. I clean up after things. Unnatural things. You know when a family just disappears from their home? Car still in the driveway, dinner half-eaten, no signs of struggle. Just gone. That's when I get a call. Or when some hikers go off trail and are found days later, faces stretched in terror, skin blistered like it aged 100 years overnight. That's me too. But I'm not law enforcement, not military, not some paranormal investigator with a podcast and a night vision camera. I don't ask questions. I don't take notes. I remove. Blood, evidence, sometimes entire houses. And I do it well. My tools are custom. They don't have names, just serial codes. I've got solvents that melt bone, vacuums that erase the residue of fear, gloves that never stain. And then there's the black book. It's always waiting on my kitchen table in the morning. No knock, no call. Just there. Heavy. Smells like dirt and ozone. Inside is always the same. A name, a location, and a set of rules. Follow the rules. That's what keeps you alive. Let me give you an example. A few months ago, I was sent to a house in Oregon. A cabin. Deep woods. No roads on Google Maps. The black book said, Rule 1. Do not look in the mirrors. Rule 2. Remove the nursery wallpaper before dusk. Rule 3. If you hear crying from under the floorboards, leave immediately. And I followed them. Mostly. I slipped, glanced at a mirror by the front door. Just for a second. I saw something that wasn't me. It had my face, but the smile wasn't mine. The teeth weren't human. I covered it with a blanket and kept working. Didn't sleep for 3 days after that. But I got the job done. Place was gone by morning. Just dirt and fog where the cabin used to be. Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes they send me to places where the walls breathe, where clocks run backward, where the wind whispers in dead languages. Last year there was a site, I can't say where, that required me to burn down a hotel that didn't technically exist. The black book said, each room you enter will add another memory you never had. Burn it before you forget who you are. It took me 5 hours. By the time I lit the final match, I was almost convinced I had a wife named Clara and a baby girl named June. I don't. I double-checked. I think. The worst job I ever had. A basement in Kansas. Concrete walls, chains, blood thick as syrup on the floor. Nothing in the black book but one sentence. It is still hungry. Do not feed it anything you love. I almost failed that one. Dropped my wallet without noticing. Had a picture of my sister in it. I left the house shaking, and when I checked my wallet in the car, the photo was gone, and in its place was a scrap of flesh. Still beating. Some days I wonder who they are, the ones who leave the book, the ones who know where the horrors are, the ones who created the rules. Are they protecting us, or just covering their tracks? Am I the good guy in all of this, or just another cog in a much darker machine? I try not to ask. The black book doesn't like it when you ask. I tried once and left a note inside. Who are you? The next morning, I woke up with my own handwriting carved into my arm. Cleaner, clean thyself. I bled for hours. So why am I telling you this now? Because this morning, for the first time in over a decade, the black book didn't show up. Instead, there was an envelope. My name written in red. No return address. And inside, a photo of me, sleeping. And on the back, just one rule. Do not run. We already know where you'll go. I have a very special job, but I think I just became the next mess to clean up, and I don't think anyone's coming to save me. This story was written by PortalXMike. For the past week, something's been off with my mom. She's still doing all the usual things, making her black coffee first thing in the morning, tending to the roses in the backyard that she refuses to let die, even though it's August and the heat's brutal. She still calls me sweetheart, still leaves post-its with gentle reminders to eat, hydrate, and sleep. But she won't look me in the eyes anymore. Not for more than a second or two. I caught her watching me last night from the hallway mirror. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling on my phone, and I just felt it. That kind of prickling heat behind your neck like someone's watching. I looked up, and there she was standing stiffly behind the corner, peering in like she was studying something, or someone. When our eyes met, she froze. Then she forced a smile. "You okay, honey?" I nodded. She disappeared down the hallway like nothing happened. But I know she was watching. This morning, she left a slice of toast on the kitchen table for me, same as always. But there was no butter, no jelly, not even a napkin. It was just dry. I asked her if everything was all right. She hesitated. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? I shrugged. You just seem distant lately. She looked at me for a long time. Her fingers were tight around the coffee mug. Then she said, slowly, "Sometimes people change, and sometimes they think no one will notice." I tried to laugh it off, but my chest felt hollow. I didn't eat the toast. It's not just the weird glances or the strange things she'd say. She started locking her bedroom door at night. She never used to do that. And I swear, one night I heard her whispering behind it, like prayers or warnings. This morning, I woke up and found her in the living room, going through old photo albums. She didn't even flinch when I walked in. "Looking for something?" I asked. She stared down at a photo of us from years ago. Me, at least I think it's me, smiling in front of a birthday cake, frosting on my chin. Her eyes flicked up to my face, then back to the photo. Her hands were trembling. "You used to have a mole," she whispered. I blinked. "What?" "On your left cheek," she said, tapping the photo. "Where is it?" I touched my cheek. I guess it faded. Her lips pressed into a tight line. "Moles don't fade." I couldn't think of anything to say. I just stood there like an idiot. And tonight, she left a knife under her pillow. I saw it when I walked past her room. The door was cracked open, and she was pretending to sleep. But I saw her fingers curled tight around the blanket, like she was bracing for something. I think she's afraid of me. And the thing is, I've been having dreams. Dreams of things that don't make sense. I hear echoes. I see a forest. Wet leaves. I even smell smoke. And the face, my face, staring at me with wide, terrified eyes as I reached out for him. As I stepped into my skin, I start to question myself. What am I? Am I really who I am? Then, one night, I go to the bathroom and look in the mirror. And I see all the imperfections, all the mistakes. Then I see it. I see what my mom sees. I'm not her son. And Mom knows it.